Hello America, here with Watershed Fly Shop. We're going to tie a single station intruder called the Watershed Lazy Man fly. Why is it lazy, you ask? Because I didn't tie a rear station. So enjoy. You can tie this bad boy up and hopefully it won't be too terribly boring for you. Okay, we're going to start out with a blue classic tube, 50D Vivus thread. Best thread on the market for what I'm doing anyhow. This thread is a little slick in all honesty, but you can really wrap it. I mean, you can over wrap the crap out of this stuff. So quick little dubbing loop back here for, you guessed it, dubbing. And I'm not super strict about how I do this rear little dubbing loop. Ice dub, blue steely, awesome stuff. Notice I just kind of grab a quick little hank of it and throw it in there right in the middle. I'm not all about taking half an hour on this dubbing loop. That's kind of going all over the place, so I'm going to grab some more. Throw a little more in there in no particular way, because I'm just gonna spin it and mess with it as I go. Quick little dubbing. Go around with my thread, tie it off real quick. Cut this up. It's just a little hot spot in the back of the fly, so I genuinely encourage you not to take any more time than that. I'm gonna use some mini fly flat braid from Hairline. This stuff is pretty awesome because it goes on super easy. Just gonna kind of go down the tube a little ways with it. Not the whole way. I'm not super concerned about taper because we're gonna cover it up with some saddle hackle. Ultra wire, silver, brassy. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but don't bite your crap. That's a bad idea. My dentist is probably watching this and shaking his head right now. You idiot. Just gonna tie it on well, because we're gonna come back over the saddle hackle that we're gonna eventually put on there on the body. Okay, first wrap, most important wrap. Oop. One good wrap to get it going, then make your way down. Again, I'm not overly concerned about taper on this. It's not like we're building a dry fly or some special nymph or anything like that. It all looks pretty much the same as far as taper goes on this particular body. Okay, I'm gonna tie that in there. Cut it off. Grab our Chinese saddle hackle from Hairline. This particular feather is not perfect by any means, but the beginning of it. I tie it in near me, and I take the stem, tie behind it, and then I'm going to kind of tie the stem in a little bit more just to ensure that bad boy doesn't come out. I've learned my lesson a couple times on these, so I'm probably a little more anal than I need to be. Kind of like 1.5 complete turns there, and then I'm just gonna make my way down the tube. Okay. Find the end of it. Then we're just going woolly bugger style. So as you go, just kind of turn. Just make your way through, and the reason why we kind of go back and forth like that so that we don't trap too much of this feather down. You can always come back through with your bodkin, but if I don't have to, that would be good too. Part of the lazy man watershed intruder, and I'm really tying this thing down. I mean, you can go half as many wraps if you like. Okay. Should probably tighten that up a little bit. Okay, and just kind of helicopter it there. Comes right out. Cut that bad boy off back there. Nice. Okay. One thing I didn't prep was this fox, which isn't a bad thing because I can kind of teach you what I do about it. Cut it off near the bottom. Okay. I don't know how well you can see that. I just take a comb, take all that fur out of there. I'm sure you've watched a million of these videos and guys doing this, but hey, never hurts to watch again. Okay. Take that out. Cut it to your little heart's desire. And that's a nice piece of fox right there. One thing I am gonna do is use some of this ripple ice fiber in 2 different colors. Absolutely not necessary. Why did I pick 2 different colors? I'm just gonna be honest with you, and the answer is because I just couldn't pick one, so I grabbed both of them. So I kind of think this this blue, which doesn't look blue on camera, I'm sure, or even in real life, but it looks blue in the water. And I'm just gonna cut the butts of that ripple ice. When I put it in the dubbing loop, which I'm going to make now, I'm going to put it all in together and hope and pray that it doesn't get too mangled. I've done this before, and actually it's not too bad. So I'm going to, like I said, put it all in there together, spread it out the best I can. Okay, these long razor scissors from Loon, I want to say they're 4 inches ish. It's whatever the longest ones they have. I'm gonna pinch the back and start spinning. Just eventually, when it gets tight enough, it'll just kind of let itself go. And now I'm gonna let it all go. I like how I have a bunch of Zap-A-Gap on the tip of my bodkin, so it doesn't work very good. I'm just gonna kind of pick it out as it's not completely tight yet. Say it's kind of getting mucked up at the top end there. It's not that big of a deal. Don't sweat it. I used to really get anal about that stuff, and you could tie it in just like that if you wanted to. Notice with that 50D just how much just wet my fingers there. Good old-fashioned saliva. I realize that's disgusting, but hey, don't judge me. You go ahead and wrap right behind that saddle that I tied in. Just wrap one wrap right behind the other. Um, 4 to 6 wraps I would say are appropriate for this. I want a pretty good. This is a prop right here, and I want a pretty good prop. Get out of there, thread. Okay. Tie that down. All right. Cut that off, and it is super messy, just the way I like it. Just gonna kind of nip some of that ripple ice. It's a little long, and I don't want it messing with my next step, which is ostrich, too much. I'm gonna go through this with the bodkin, untrap any trapped fox or ripple ice fibers, and I believe what we have on our website is that Pro Sport Fisher Fox, of course. Good stuff. Another dubbing loop. Boom, boom. I don't know how well you can see right there by the keep readjusting, so I'm sure that's not good for the focus, but right there by the shoulder prop, but there's quite a bit of thread, and that is what is beautiful about that thread. It's unbelievable. So I've got MFC, Montana Fly Company ostrich here. I'm going to put it in the dubbing loop. Notice the blue is nearest the fly because the black is going to be the rear of the fly. That's just a habit that I've got into. I always like the darker part in darker flies to be at the rear, or even if I'm doing like super light to super dark color combinations, I want the darker part to be to the rear. Somebody smarter than me did that, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy him. I won't mention who that is, but let's be honest, there's a lot of people smarter than me. Okay, I'm just going to spread these guys out here. Just doing it with my bodkin, putting pressure on the loop at the same time, I realize this is near me, and this is the most tedious, most important part. Let go of that guy, of the fly. And so just take your time. It's not a big deal if you screw up. There are no mistakes in fly tying. Just happy little accidents. Bob Ross. Thank you. I realized he would be so much better at explaining the intricacies of fly tying and painting at the same time. It'd be a beautiful show. I'm sure people would tune in. Okay, well, it ain't real pretty, but I'm going with it. Okay, it's not perfectly even, like I kind of like it, but I'm gonna go ahead and spin it up. I'm gonna move my Fox and Ripple Ice fiber out of the way and get it going. And I'm just kind of untrapping any, that worked out pretty good. You never know. I mean, geez. This is pretty thin stuff. It's almost rail-like. And I like it that way. I don't, you know, the lighter, the kind of more airy, less fluffy I can make a fly, the better. There are, you know, times where I might use a different ostrich or a different brand, but in all honesty, overall, this MFC stuff rocks. It's really good stuff. And I'm just folding it back, putting a nice little part in it. Okay, I'm going to cut some of the stems, and just by holding the loop you can do that. Try not to cut the wrong side of it. I'm just kind of shortening these up. I like them pretty short so that they don't bulk up. Again, less bulk the better. I mean, I'm going to use this fly probably next week. I've got some people I'm going to take out, and so I want it to be light for them. I want it to be easy to cast. That's important in my world. Just to be clear with you, at some point you will cut the thread when you're doing that. And have fun with that. It's not fun, I'm not gonna lie. I'll let you know right now, it's a frustrating mistake that we all have to make a time or two, or 3 or 7, probably in my case. Tie that off, and tie right on top of those stems. Really strong thread. It's actually kind of hard to cut. There we go. Liking it. Looks pretty cool with the Ripple Ice fiber. It's a little dirty. Kind of like it like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's it. I kind of dig the Ripple Ice fiber because it puts enough flash in the fly to where you don't have to sweat it too much. You don't really need any more than that. I might put some more in it. We'll see what happens. Lady A. Boom. Natural. How far are you putting that in there? Maybe just a hair longer than my ostrich. So take your time with it. Put it in. Lady A can be incredibly annoying. I like Lady Amherst though because it's just gorgeous. Unfortunately, when you get a fish on this stuff though, it does tend to tear up a little bit. So don't get too caught up. That's a really good thing. I mean, geez, we're winter steelhead fishing. We'll take it any way we can get it, and we will gladly give up a fly or 4 or 5 flies for a grab, honestly. So this stuff is being, there we go. Alright, just gonna turn the tube. I'm putting 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top of the fly. The bottom and the top are gonna be just kind of defined by where I put the dumbbells. So that will happen momentarily here. There we go. Guess I should cover tubes. So tubes are great because they're faster. I would have had to spend probably an additional 5 minutes just getting the intruder wire on, and if I'm gonna tie flies in the round like I am right here, this doesn't necessarily have a distinct top and bottom to it, then I'm always going to use a tube. There are some flies that look better on shanks, so you know, that's okay. Yeah, grab the dumbbells first. So this is going to be the bottom of my fly because I'm putting the dumbbells right there on the bottom. The dumbbells are going to ride down, and they are heavy lead eyes from Hairline. I like them a lot, especially with tubes, because they just, man, this tube, it's like the perfect shape. Again, the classic tube from Pro Sport Fisher. And I just kind of tie it, and then eventually, once it's down pretty well, I figure 8 it. They go on a lot easier than they do with shanks, so don't get overly worried that thing's, I mean, that thing's on there. It's not going anywhere. Okay? Because I like this stuff so much, I'm going to throw some in. 2 strands on each side. It's just the Flashaboo 6993. It's just like the blue steely stuff. It's hollow flash. Awesome. Just looks awesome. And you know, for the swing guides out there, you know, we get kind of picky. I like to swing flies. You know, I mean, I'm not against people that indicator fish for steelhead, but it's not my bag to sit there and row up and down a river with an indicator. It's not what I do. There's nothing wrong with those guys that do that. That's totally fine. It's actually a good deal. So I put them right over the dumbbells. I tie them in. I'm tying them in light right there because I want to be able to move these bad boys around. Okay, right there. You come over here a little bit. Okay, get in the habit of turning that so you guys can see. Oop, turned it on its own. Good deal. Just gonna bring this guy way over here. I probably care about this part of it way too much. I realize it's kind of taking forever to get flash tight in. But hey, it's my fly. Shut your mouth. Just cut the flash off. Some guys are going, oh, it can't be all the same. I don't really care. I'm just going to cut it wherever it gets cut. No big deal. Cool. To me, the best part of the fly is right here. This Nature Spirit Fish Hunter by Fish Hunter Marabou, Spey Marabou. It is one of my favorite products because it is so stinking good. I mean, it's really just high quality stuff. Wow, if I can grab it. I just tie the stem in and then I go ahead and tie it back, and I'm tying it in by the tip. Okay. Wet your hands a little bit. Palmer it back. This isn't a perfect feather, but it's awfully good. And it doesn't overwhelm the fly. And I like that about it. Okay, tie that off. Okay, it's good to go. Just make sure nothing's trapped in there. It's nice and airy. Moves way better through the water if you can help it out a little bit in that way. I know, it's ridiculous. We're always blowing on flies. It doesn't make a lot of sense, honestly, but it's what we do. Just want to make sure nothing's trapped and everything's moving the correct way. Whip finish that bad boy and you are done. Aside from glue and burning the head, but okay. Whip finish. What I usually do is whip finish. In total, I whip finish 3 times. And again, this thread allows you to do that to where you're not building this big bulky head. And if you get anything from this video, understand that the thread is awesome. We are big fans of it here. We use it. Unfortunately, it only comes in white and black, but come on, Beavis, step up your game. Give us some red, some purple, all those other colors. Yeah, in this case, I kind of got the tube about where I want it. Normally I'd have to cut that off a little bit, but I started a little short of what I normally do. So I'm just going to burn it with the blue part of the flame. Burn it down, and then I put it right back on the needle. Kind of spread that out a little bit in case, I don't know, I don't use large leader generally. I'm using 0x or 20-pound fluoro. Throw a little Zap-A-Gap on it. See if this stuff froze up on me last night. Probably should do that. No, that's good. Okay, so we just finished this little watershed lazy man intruder, and yeah, everything you need to tie this bad boy is on our website, watershedflyshop.com. Call us, email us, whatever. Reach out to us if you have any questions. I mean, this is tied relatively well. It's not perfect by any means, but yeah, we're pretty decent at tying these flies and just knowing material. So if you have any questions, give us a call or shoot us an email. And this particular fly is pretty sweet because it's relatively easy to tie. It's relatively fast to tie. I kind of took my time with this one, but sinks like a rock. It's a great winter fly. Absolutely fantastic winter fly. Great winter colors. I mean, you could certainly use it in the summer too. And yeah, it's a good tie. So hopefully you have as much fun as we did. See ya.